Hey YouTube family, welcome back to today's video. For today's video, I have a couple of stories that are gonna be basically turned into one series of events that happened to me in all of these jobs that I had. I don't think it ever happened to anybody else. If it has ever happened to you guys, leave a comment down below because I just find this really strange, and I feel like this is gonna be a pretty lengthy video, so I'm just gonna get right into it because I don't want it to be that long. And anything that you guys see in this video, from hair to eyelashes to lip color to necklace to the shirt to the flowers, anything, I will go ahead and leave it down below. Nothing is affiliated, nothing is sponsored, so everything is just information for you guys to, you know, check out if you guys are interested. So I'm gonna get right into the video because, like I said, I think this might be a very lengthy video, so let's get right into it. The first job that I had was back in 2014, and I got hired by a store manager at a retail store called Love Culture. I was hired as a sales associate, and this is my very first job, so I'm like really excited. I have no retail experience, the first job I ever applied to, and I got it, so I'm pretty hyped. So I remember the store manager was the person who hired me, and she was very work oriented, and she was very into her job, like very into, like, she took her job way too serious. When I mean way too serious, like, it's like you don't have to take it that seriously, but that's how she was. She took her job way too serious, and I didn't like working with her. I worked with her maybe 10 to 15 times throughout the 2 months that she was there, because she did run 2 stores. Our location was at Santa Monica, and there was another store located in Beverly Hills that needed to be run, and they didn't have a store manager. So our store manager would run both our store and that store. And then within 2 months, she left because I guess that store was better. It needed more help. Who knows? But basically, I was very happy because she was no longer going to be working with us. Not that she was a bad person, I just didn't like working with her. Example, she was so strict and so serious that when she wanted to joke with us, we didn't know if she was, like, you know, actually joking with us, being sarcastic, or being an asshole. So it was really awkward when she did try to work and crack a joke, because we would just be like like very awkwardly, and I felt so bad for her. But she left, and then we were left with just our co-manager and our assistant manager. I was at this job for maybe almost a year, and then I decided to start looking for another job, because from where I lived all the way to Santa Monica, not having a car and having to catch the bus, the commute wasn't worth it. So I started looking for a job, and I applied and got interviewed by a store manager at a Forever 21 store. I actually got the job, and I ended up quitting Love Culture. I started Forever 21. If you guys haven't seen that Forever 21 horror story video, go ahead and check it out after this video. There's just gonna be a lot more stories in that video about Forever 21. This is just gonna be like fast run through about like Forever 21. There's not even gonna be that much detail into it, but if you guys do want to watch that video, self-promotion, definitely go ahead and check it out after this video. Basically, I got hired. Everyone at the store seemed very cool. Fine, right? Within like maybe a month and a half to 2 months, the store manager that hired me actually got switched to a different store, and we got sent a new store manager. This new store manager was okay. He was alright. I mean, nothing compared to the first manager, where he knew how to be professional and knew how to, you know, get loose and have fun, you know. He knew how to combine it perfectly. So this store manager wasn't really, he just wasn't like the first guy, you know. And soon after that, the co-manager didn't like the way the store was being run, so he decided to actually leave. And I was really sad because this co-manager, he was dope as fuck, he was really awesome, and he left. And that's when this new co-manager came into play. Like I said, if you guys have seen my Forever 21 horror story video, you guys would know that this co-manager and I and everyone else in the store did not get along with her. Like, she did not make a good impression, first impression on anybody there, and no one seemed to get along with her. So since she came in, everything kind of went to shit. People started quitting. Like, it was just horrible. The way that she run management, the way that she thought it should be run, was not the way to go. After me being at Forever 21 for a couple of months, word got out that the store that I used to work at, which was Love Culture, was actually closing down. Love Culture closed down, and I was kind of like, because I was never going to be able to get that chance to say, hey kids, this was your mom's first job. You know, that happened within a couple of months that I started working at Forever 21. After almost a year of torture and misery and just at Forever 21, I decided to start looking for a new job because Forever 21 was not cutting it. It was not cutting it. It was only giving me 2 days out of the week to work, and it was probably a 4-hour shift both of those days. So it was an 8-hour shift, 8 hours of work for a whole week. That was not worth it. I didn't have that many bills to pay, but that was not gonna cut for not even like a movie ticket, you know? So I decided to start looking for a second job, and I got an interview at a store called Cathy Jean. The co-manager from that store actually interviewed me, and then she made me go in with a follow-up interview with the store manager, and I got the job. So I got hired by both of them. My plan was to work both Forever 21 and Cathy Jean. You know, it wasn't that far from where I lived to, you know, work both jobs. But I ended up quitting Forever 21 because the last thing that I needed was to get injured on the clock. A customer actually squished 3 of my fingers, and I had it. Management didn't do anything for me. You guys should know that you guys have rights, and when you guys go to the orientation, a job orientation, they do let you know what your rights are, and if you guys have medical help, if something were to happen to you, if you guys get hurt on the clock. And I knew my rights. They didn't do any of them, and I ended up quitting a week after the incident. I also have a video on that too if you guys want to go ahead and check out my videos. Anyways, I started working at Cathy Jean as a key holder. For those of you who don't know what a key holder is, it is higher than a sales associate and it is lower than an assistant manager. So you're in between. The only difference is that you have access to a key. You can open the store and close the store by yourself, and you know, close the register and all that. That's basically what it is. After a week of me working there, the co-manager that hired me actually got fired. After a few weeks, the store manager actually quit. She quit, and the reason why she quit was because I guess she wanted to get paid more, and they didn't accept what she wanted to get paid. And we were left with no store manager for a while. I mean, I'm new. This is my first time working with shoes. I don't know how to do anything that a manager would do. I don't know how to work with numbers. I don't know how to, you know, I didn't know anything. So it was kind of hard to run the store with like no head of operations. So after maybe like 3 weeks to a month, we got assigned a new store manager. This new lady came into the store and to run our store, and she was awesome. I liked her. She intimidated me, and she taught me a lot of the things that I know now. I know how to carry myself. I know how to present myself professionally, and I give it all to her. I owe her a big thank you. She came in, and I guess the assistant manager didn't like the way that she was planning to run the store, because I guess she was more strict, more professional. So the assistant manager ended up quitting, and then again we were left with just 3 people. After a couple of months of me working there, again I get news that the store that I worked at previously, which was Forever 21, is closing down. That's kind of weird. My first job, I had a store manager. She left within a couple of months. I quit after, and then after a couple of months, that store closes down. I get a new job. The store manager leaves after a couple of months. I quit, and then a couple months later, the store closes down. I'm just like, what? that's kind of weird. Has this happened to anybody else? I'm kind of shocked that that location for Forever 21 is closing down, because it was a really touristy place. There was a lot of traffic and they were making numbers. I don't know what went wrong, so it was a shock to me and to everybody else that they were closing. So life went on. I continued working at Cathy Jean. It was by far my favorite job. It was really good to me. And then we got suspicious that our store might possibly be closing down, but there was never no confirmation as to the store was or if it wasn't. So we kept, you know, running our store. And then after months of speculation that the store possibly could close down, and after it being denied by the owners, a month before my birthday, we get told that the store is officially closing down. I'm shocked. The store closes down and I'm pretty sad, because I really loved everyone that I worked with. We were such a small, tight-knit family. That store closed down after a year of me working there, and I took some time off, maybe a month and a half, and then I started looking for a job because my money ran out and I was living my best life. And then my sister's friend's mother, that we're gonna go ahead and call Betty. She was looking for a dental receptionist. They already had one, but they needed two. And I went in for an interview, them knowing that I had no dental experience at all, like nothing. No background work for receptionist or dental, nothing. And they hired me. I was very, very grateful. This is a different field for me, and I was really happy. The only thing that bummed about this job was that I had to take 3 buses to get there, since I didn't have a car and I didn't drive. It was such a hassle for me. The first day that I got there, I actually got there an hour early, and it was just it was fucking crazy, because I almost got in a fight with a hobo, almost called the cops. I was scared for my life. And then finally the other receptionist got there, and the first thing that she tells me is that she has had a very bad morning and that she just found out that she's pregnant. And I was just kind of like, hi, my name's Angeles. I'm the new receptionist. Nice to meet you. And then later on I ended up meeting Betty, and I ended up meeting the doctor. All of them had been working there for a really long time. I was the only one that was like out of the loop because I was new and I didn't get any of their insider jokes. So it was kind of awkward for me to be there, honestly. There was another girl that worked there that only worked on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she was the second dental assistant, and they let me know that she was 4 months pregnant. And that's when the other receptionist actually let both Betty and the doctor know that she was pregnant as well. And then they started cracking jokes. Mind you, this is all the first day that I'm there. They started cracking jokes, and then Betty looks at me and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, you're in our circle now. She's like, so you're gonna end up getting pregnant next. And I'm kind of like, yeah, no, there's no way that I'm getting pregnant anytime soon. You're funny, but thanks. No. And then a couple of weeks later, I come to find out that I am actually pregnant. Like, she wished it upon me, and I ended up getting pregnant. Guys, I was just baffled, and I just couldn't believe that me starting this job. I mean, obviously the job didn't get me pregnant. Obviously it was my boyfriend that got me pregnant. But it was just the way that everything happened, and the way everything like just went and fell into place. It was just weird. It was just weird. Nobody knew that I was pregnant though. Nobody knew that I was pregnant. The only person that knew I was pregnant was me. And this is also why I didn't really like this job, was because the area where this office was located at was not the best part. Actually, it wasn't even a smart move for the doctor to move there, because it was in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, I didn't have a car, so I couldn't have options to go to places to eat on my lunch break. I had to go next door to a very gross looking restaurant, and I was always the last person to eat because everyone was pregnant and they didn't know that I was pregnant. So obviously the girl that isn't pregnant has to eat last, but I was pregnant. So I would clock in at 7 in the morning and then go to eat at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which was very bad. And the doctor didn't allow us to snack at our desk. So it was just horrible, horrible. And I remember before even like me finding out that I was pregnant, I would wake up every morning dreading to go to this job. I hated it. It was not a good surrounding, and the vibes that I got from this place, I didn't like it. I don't know if it was my hormones. I don't know if it was just me, but the fact that I had to take 3 buses, and it was just horrible, guys. And then I ended up quitting because this job made me quit. I am not a quitter and I'm not dumb, but this job made me feel dumb and it made me quit. Like I was there for probably 3 to 4 months and I didn't know how to read any dental records. I didn't know what the codes were for the teeth. I didn't know how to file for the insurance. I didn't know how to make a claim. I didn't know how to, I didn't know how to do anything. And I'm not a dumb girl. I can catch on to things pretty quickly if I'm hands-on. And I was hands-on and I didn't understand anything. So I quit. And then I had to look for another job because I was already like 4 months pregnant and I needed to get another job ASAP because I could have started showing at any day. So I started looking, started applying, and I went to a training day or like something, a field trip. I don't know what it's called, a job fair. I went to a job fair and I actually got interviewed at a store by the co-manager at a restaurant called Lemonade, and I actually got the job. I got the job and I started working 2 weeks later. Actually, no, I started working there a week later, and the lady who hired me actually got fired the day before I started working there. So I was kind of like, wow, here we go again. Here we go again. It's crazy. Eventually, I ended up telling the store manager that I was pregnant. He was very cool about it. He was like, tell me when you don't feel good. Tell me when you need a day off. We'll work around your schedule. He was amazing. Shout out to him. He was amazing. And then I ended up leaving for my maternity leave, and I ended up, quitting before my maternity leave was up. And a few weeks later, maybe like months later, I got word that he actually got fired, and it was very sad. He got fired, and I was just like, I am the juju. It's me. What? What are the odds? Like, I don't know. I just think too much of certain things, and maybe it has nothing to do with me. But if anything like this has ever happened to you guys, let me know, because I just think that this is fucking weird. This is really weird. And those were all the jobs that I had, and the weird, repetitive situation that happened in every single one of them. So that is it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this random video. But I do have a I do have a true crime video coming out for you guys shortly. I'm just reading my notes, trying to make sure that everything is like perfect for my first video. So stay out. I don't know how to talk. So keep an eye out for that. Go ahead and subscribe if you guys like this video, and if you guys want to go ahead and click the little bell to be notified whenever I, upload, because it's not that, frequent.